Hi everybody, my name is Richard Vigorelli and I am your guide for everything Chinese medicine, and it is all set up so us Westerners can understand. Now, I am doing this video today because we are smack dab in the middle of the 2016 Rio Olympiad, and something happened. Well, happened especially with the swimmers and the male gymnasts. People said, what are those dark circles on their bodies? Are they infected with something? Have they been attacked? Have they been damaged? No, those are from cupping. And cupping is actually a technique used in Chinese medicine or Asian medicine or Oriental medicine or whatever it is you want to call it. I don't know you people sometimes. Anyway, what this is for is it is meant to pull tissue layers apart so that blood can get in. So why are they so dark? Well, you also are going to pull up blood. Now, the reason why that happens is because of the pathology that the person has. Chances are Mr. Phelps was having some rotator cuff issues, and he'd go to move his arm and it would hurt. So we cup the shoulder, and that pulls up all of the dead blood that is sitting there that the body can't get out, and it raises it towards the upper levels so that the lower levels can fill in with new blood. So cupping is not usually done flippantly. Okay, when I do cupping, and this is how I do it, I use one of these. Okay. It's a plastic tube thing with a one-way valve. Okay, and it goes in here. This bit goes on the skin, and pull this little guy, and it sucks up the air, creating a partial vacuum inside. That brings the flesh up. So the way I would diagnose someone is first I would say, okay, what's your problem? Well, I have an problem X from event Y, and I need to have that fixed. Okay, so I take a look at their pulse and make note of what that feels like. If it's choppy, if it's rapid, if it's really pounding, if it's slippery, if it's wiry, etc. And you can look at all those terms. And then I make the decision as to how I'm going to treat it. If it's just something local and they need a quick fix with it, cupping is going to be one of the better options. Now, if the person has extremely high blood pressure or they are extremely weak, I am not under any circumstances going to cup them because I could hurt them. And I'm not going to only use cupping as my only mode of treatment. I might use massage, I might use acupuncture in order to get stuff loosened up there. And despite what the MDs are saying, it's not a hickey. Okay? The color of the circle on the body is also diagnostic and indicative of the problem they are having with which we are cupping them for. And cupping is used for a lot more than just simple muscle pain and strain. We can also use it for a mild cold, something that you got yesterday and it hasn't quite settled in yet. We pull it out of your body and basically throw it away. Okay? Now back to the colors. If it's a really dark purple one, like what was on Michael Phelps and some of the gymnasts, we call that blood stagnation. Basically, you have dead blood trapped in the area and it needs to get out. So we're pulling it up into the tissues, allowing new blood to come in, flush out the dead blood, and then the body breaks that down and reuses it for whatever it wants to use it for. If it was bright red, then the person would have internal heat, which is a completely different problem. And I would probably be giving them some kind of anti-infection herbs in order to help them feel better. Okay? If the person starts getting water droplets inside, I'm not pulling interstitial fluid out, I'm pulling dampness out of the body. And that will usually come up with somebody that's a little bit more on the rotund side. If there's really no issue, and yeah, mild discoloration around the area, basically the person's just healthy and I'm just opening up the tissues. Big deal. Okay, so there are two ways to do cupping, and I showed you the pneumatic form. This is the one that I like because, well, it's not the other one, which is called fire cupping. Fire cupping uses a burning cotton ball soaked with usually rubbing alcohol, and it's set in some clamps and then shoved into a glass cup, pulled out really quickly, and the cup is then set on the flesh. Okay, and you can actually watch as the air in the cup cools, the skin lifting up inside, and no, it is not going to completely fill it. Don't be ridiculous. It can be uncomfortable to have done to you, especially if you're dehydrated. Okay? So one of the things I always make sure with my patients when I cup them is I make sure that they are well hydrated, and I also make sure that they understand that, yeah, this is technically a traumatic procedure. Not that they're going to have to seek further treatment in order to repair it. Okay? So, it is safe for the most part. Yes, there have been some mild side effects, but they are few and far between, and usually the result of gross negligence on part of the practitioner. You can go ahead and Google cupping mishaps. You'll find some really interesting stuff. And I've never seen that happen to anybody that I know of. And I've been doing this for a while. I've also seen it done quite a bit. 9 times, I'd say 9.9 times out of 10, without a hitch. Just like an appendectomy, no problem. Okay? We don't stop doing appendectomies just because one person happens to die. Okay? So, I have found cupping to be extremely effective. I do it. I've even done it on myself in a pinch because I had some neck pain and I couldn't move. I put this little guy on my neck, right about here, and within about 10 minutes I could move my neck, I could turn my head again. Then I took a couple of herbs, got things working again, and about a day later I was fine. Whereas without doing that, I've had the condition many other times, and I just couldn't move for about a week. It was horrible. Went in and got treatment, got this done, problem solved. Okay? So, if you have any further questions about cupping, feel free to reach me through my website. That is vigintmed.com. That stands for Vigorelli Integrated Medicine.com. You can go ahead and reach me there. If you want, you can also leave a nice little thing in the comments. Also, since you're down there, like and subscribe. I will be back later with something else, and until then, you take care. Stay healthy.